The Princess Royal appeared pensive in one of the pictures taken during her official visit to the Falkland Islands and released on Friday by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office (FCDO). With a camera hanging from her neck, Princess Anne looks ahead of her, in the direction of the ocean, while a seal was lying in front of her. The no-nonsense royal dressed for the weather, wrapped up in a warm brown coat, matching casual trousers and trekking shoes. She donned a cap and sunglasses too. The princess was also caught on camera looking curiously at some of the famous Falkland Islands penguins. Standing on a rocky terrain, the 72-year-old pulled up her sunglasses to better look at a group of penguins while keeping her hands locked behind her back. A third snap released by the FCDO showed Anne following with her hands behind her back her husband and former Navy officer Sir Timothy Lawrence. Princess Anne learned more about the Falklands' unique wildlife during her trip. Image, Tegan Francis, Government House Falkland Islands, PA Wire. Princess Anne was caught on camera looking at the ocean during a visit to the Falkland Islands. Image, Tegan Francis, Government House Falkland Islands, PA Wire. The pair appeared to have walked to the coast and be nearing the ocean. One last picture shared by the government office showed members of the British Armed Forces showing around one of the islands Anne and Sir Timothy. Princess Anne undertook this visit packed with engagements at the request of the government. The 6-day tour began with the late Queen's only daughter and her husband being welcomed to the overseas territory by the Governor of the Falkland Islands, Alison Blake. Read more. King blasted for not honoring hard-working Edward with new title. Princess Anne's visit lasted between November 17 and 22. Image, Tegan Francis, Government House Falkland Islands, PA Wire. Princess Anne and Sir Timothy Lawrence undertook the visit together. Image, Tegan Francis, Government House Falkland Islands, PA Wire. Following a meeting with members of the Legislative Assembly, the royal marked the 40th anniversary of the War on the Falklands by laying a wreath at the 1982 Liberation Memorial in Port Stanley. Commemorations for the anniversary of the conflict continued throughout the tour, with Anne visiting the Falklands Islands and MOD demining teams to receive a brief on how the archipelago was successfully demined following 1982. She later visited the Magellanic penguin colony under the care of the Falkland Conservation to see the work that has been possible due to the successful demining. Also headed to Liberty Lodge to meet veterans of the 1982 conflict and visited some of the battlefield sites where British troops faced their Argentinian counterparts 4 decades ago, including Mount Harriet and Two Sisters. Don't miss King Charles has strict rules during state banquets at the palace. Insight, Mike Tyndall says he wears jeans when he stays at Buckingham Palace. Report, Meghan Markle faces split loyalties ahead of Crunch Clash tonight. LIVEBLOG. However, the attention of the royal wasn't solely focused on marking the 40th anniversary of the war, as she also highlighted through her visit the work of conservation being carried out in the territory to protect its unique flora and fauna as well as how multicultural the local community is. The latest census carried out on the Falklands showed people from 68 different nations had made the archipelago their home. Finally, she celebrated the city status bestowed upon the archipelago's main city, Stanley, during this Jubilee year. Anne and Sir Timothy's visit prompted a reaction from Buenos Aires, with Guillermo Carmona, the Argentinian Secretary for Malvinas, Antarctica and South Atlantic, taking to social media to accuse Anne to enter Argentina's territory without warning. Stanley was granted city status this year. Image, Getty. Trending he wrote, Princess Anne, of the British royal family, arrived in Argentina without warning. Her country is in breach of international law with its colonial presence in the South Atlantic, contrary to UN resolutions and world outcry. Perhaps that explains the discourtesy. He added, it is time for the United Kingdom to comply with Resolution 2065-1965, Resolution 37 9th of November 1982 and the other resolutions of the UNGA and the UN Decolonization Committee. reluctance to do so, Mr. Carmona claimed, showed a lack of commitment to international law.